Here with Philip Dwyer outside Ennis District Court, a very windy County Clare. Phil, what takes you to the Banner County?
A judge basically, and it's very spurious trespass with causing fear charge that I was supposed to have a hearing for today. And again, thanks Aisling for coming out to support me, and the lovely Liz here as well came out and supported, another one or two gentlemen as well. But yeah, we went in for a hearing today. Unfortunately, it did not get concluded. I mean, talk about something like the X case. I mean, it turned into something that we're on points of law now. And according to my legal team anyway, they're very important points of law about the right to, as a journalist, to go into a property and question people, and is it trespassing or not. So we kind of got stuck.
Interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, we sat through the trial and they were taking it very seriously, and it was very, very interesting. We can't say too much. We can only really do contemporaneous reporting, which is to say what happened in court today. They had the manager of Magowna House Hotel. She took to the stand. I think they were trying to say that they were afraid, but in your defence it was, were you a protester or were you a citizen journalist? So I think that's kind of where it stalled.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't go in there as a protest. I went in there as a journalist, a citizen journalist, an independent journalist, whatever, just to ask questions, to get as much information as I could about what they were doing with the property, who was the owners, could I speak to the owners or the managers. The manager who went up as a witness, she did not identify herself to me as a manager. She did tell me to leave, but I couldn't identify her. She didn't know who she was, but eventually I left. But anyway, we won't go into that too much.
I'll tell you why I'm so interested in, obviously, County Clare. I'm a County Clare lady, but I went out to Magowna House Hotel myself, so we saw it there. It was blockaded on either side, so it was one of the first ones where the locals went out and blocked the entrances. Now, you kind of got the similar reception to myself, where when you show up as a journalist, citizen journalist, whatever, independent journalist, you know, they were afraid. They're afraid of being associated with the far right. So there was, I couldn't say that you were part of the protest. Definitely there as a reporter to cover it.
Yeah. And no, I've gotten this before, when you, especially rural areas, and you're probably not known. You had the likes of Timmy Dooley hanging around, trying to, like the Pied Piper, trying to lead the crowd down a direction that, he was going to fix this, when in actual fact him and the Fianna Fáil party are the cause of these military-age unknown men coming into rural villages and towns and areas like the Magowna House in Inch. So I was there to try and report and highlight this, give a different angle to what the mainstream, and there was enough mainstream there was RTE, there was News Talk, and it was really important to have an alternative voice there that would actually say, and ask the likes of Timmy Dooley questions. Unfortunately, again, technical issues happened to me when I was there, but again, the locals, I'm used to that, and it's okay. I mean, they all probably don't really know what's going on. They're all probably listening to mainstream media all their lives. They're trusting their local politicians all their lives, and it's really a hard pill to swallow where they find out that the media are lying to them and that the politicians are lying to them, and they're actually betraying them.
Well, I found it very interesting when I went, because RTE were down there, all the mainstream media newspapers were down there. So we started interviewing some of the men inside, because it was down to check to see, are you actually, is this real? Is this really happening? And I then was comparing and contrasting what the mainstream media had put out and what I'd put out. And I got talking to a guy who'd been through a series of countries to get to Ireland. And he was telling this also to the mainstream media, but they had left that bit out. But I'd left that bit in. And I thought, well, this is independent journalism. This is what it is. And I know there's sometimes question marks. What is citizen journalism? What is this independent? What is this alternative media? That's what it is. It's putting out the bits that the mainstream media are editing because they're captured. Why all men? So I think a lot of people out there want to know, where are the women and children? Why is it all men? That confuses people.
Yeah, because especially we don't have family here, and I don't have information about this.
Will you bring your family over?
Yeah, this is my plan to bring my family here, and when I get documents, I will bring my family here to live here.
And why did you come to Ireland? Why Ireland?
Because Ireland's every year is green, so and also the people are lovely, and so especially I like Ireland.
And was there like an invitation from the government? Did you see the
No.
government's invite to come
No,
here?
no, we come illegally.
Illegally?
Yeah.
Okay, so no documentation?
No documentation.
No
yeah.
passport?
No, we can illegally by boat.
By boat?
Yeah.
Oh, where did you come in?
It's a long story. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, from Iran, it's a long story.
From Iran?
From Iran, Turkey, we crossing illegal border, you know. Yeah, and Serbia, it's a long story.
And it's unfiltered. I mean, well, I tried to be as unfiltered as possible. I go out and I tried to do a live stream the first day I was down there. Second day I recorded because there was a bad internet signal there. But as I said, my whole persona, all my work is mainly unfiltered. Here's what it is, folks. I'm not trying to pretend to be anybody other than somebody reporting the truth, the actual truth of what's going on. And I think we need more and more people like that. But it's like, it's frowned upon. It's really, you're kind of, the establishment really don't like it, and they really go after you. And here I am standing outside a courthouse now in Ennis, County Clare. It shouldn't be happening. It's a waste of court resources, a waste of police resources. Maybe we might get a very important point about journalism and citizen journalism having the right to go places and ask questions, you know?
Well, I mean, one of the basic tenets of a democracy is that journalists should be free to go about their business unimpeded.
Yeah.
And I know you put up with an awful lot of stick when you say citizen journalists. People say, no, you're not. That's not a thing. They just want the mainstream media journalists.
Yeah.
And I think they are really missing a beat on that one.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, call me what you want. I mean, all I'm trying to do is report the truth. And as we spoke earlier, archive the truth, archive what's going on, archive the people who are responsible for what's going on in the country, archive the people who are, in my opinion, acting illegally on our borders, disregarding our immigration laws, instructing guards to do things that they're not supposed to be doing. They're supposed to protect the Constitution, not to protect politicians and political parties and political party policies either, you know.
So we have to wait it out. When are you back again, and what's going to happen in the meantime?
My legal team have to go back now and get submissions. They have to provide to the judge legal precedents that have been shown. We've brought up stuff about European law and stuff like that with citizen journalists where precedents have been set. So she has to go and get these case law to the judge. She has to prepare them and submit them to the judge by the 12th of February, and then we're all back in again on the 26th of February for the final hearing, you know. And I'm kind of looking forward, Aisling, to giving evidence myself, let the guards cross-examine me, and try and show the judge and with the video evidence as well that I was quite reasonable going into there and trying to talk to these people.
Yeah, I saw the video evidence. I mean, it's something that a journalist, when I spent 6 years in the national newsroom at TV3, it's something you do all the time. Yeah. So it's like bread and butter, part of the job, where you're knocking on doors and you have to ask questions. Sometimes you have to ask uncomfortable questions. Sometimes the person you're asking the question to doesn't want those questions directed at them. But that is journalism. You know, that's how it works.
You try to be courteous and respectful while you're doing it, and that's what I was trying to be. Now, I felt quite threatened when some guy approached me who wouldn't identify himself, you know, so that kind of thing. I don't really think anybody should need to be told to leave anywhere by some stranger. I mean, if some stranger walked up to us here now and told us to leave this court area or whatever, you know, we wouldn't pay any heed to that. Like, that's, you know, you just can't do that. But as I said, if somebody was identifiable, explained who they were, absolutely, you would say, okay, fair enough, I've asked you, you know, the questions I wanted, you're not prepared to answer, then you leave. But this situation was kind of a bit unprecedented, really, when you have everybody I spoke to really were non-Irish, non-nationals, and one of the guys had no real English at all, you know. So
now your reports have been going out far and wide. They've been getting a lot of traction. You are Ireland's #1 citizen journalist, but you've also had to put up with a lot of this lawfare. How did it go last year? You got a few wins in there.
Well, look, I put it down to, like, if it was a soccer match, it's probably 2 or 3-0 to myself against the guards. I got I got a charge outside the Dáil where I was arrested for asking questions to climate protesters. I got charged with asking a creche owner why is she promoting LGBT propaganda to toddlers, basically. They went hell for high water to throw the book at me there. They had barristers thrown at this, a public order charge, you know. And we don't have a barrister today. We have an inspector asking the questions. She's representing the case. So there's no holds barred with them when they want to come after somebody who is a dissenter, you know, or a dissident who is against the government narrative.
Yeah, well, I've never seen a case quite like it. It's basically for a journalist asking questions who didn't cause any harm, or, you know, it was something to witness, I have to say. It was
fascinating.
It was pretty fascinating. All right.
I'm just hoping. I mean, look, this judge, he seems fair enough. He's asking all questions. He's asking my side difficult questions. It'll be up to me. He can ask me what he likes if I go up on the stand or whatever. All I'm asking for is fairness, and to stick to reality and stick to facts. That I didn't put anyone in fear that day. If anyone had a right to be afraid, it was probably me. But that was not the intention. The intention was just to go in there, get information. It was a national story because you had all the mainstream channels there, and it was very important to cover this national story from my channel and the work I do. You know, it was a big story. You know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. So we'll have to just get those submissions in, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting, especially from a citizen journalism perspective, to see what those precedents are. And it's going to be watch this space. So we're wishing you the very best of luck, and great to have you here in the Banner County.
And I really appreciate you, Aisling, coming out to support me, and the other people who did, and Liz here as well. She came all the way from Galway, and so we just have to keep fighting these things, because they are using, and it's really it's a bit dangerous, and it's a bit sad that they're using the criminal justice system against ordinary citizens, citizen journalists, call us what you want, people who are just highlighting what's going on in the country and who have a disagreement with government policy, basically, you know.